Hey y'all, day 30 checking in. We made it through this self-care revolution 30-day self-care check-in. All right. And if you were here every day making time, a few minutes to check in on yourself, to ask yourself what didn't you do, what did you do, and what you need, pat yourself on the back, okay? The confetti's falling from the ceiling because you did it. That is really the work. That is the work is showing up every day. Everybody looks for a program to get in shape or, the work for self-care, which self-care is maintenance that sustains you to the next day. It's how you're going to show up the next day. What version of you is going to show up, okay? The work is showing up every day. And we did that. And you proved to yourself that you could do that. So it's really no excuse, right? You now know what self-care is. You now know different things that you could do for self-care. And I want to know what your experience was like. If you actually checked in and asked yourself the questions and took note of what you needed, and what did you learn about yourself? What kind of new morning routines could you implement? Because really, once you look back at all of these different pages from the workbook, you can come up with the exact morning routine you need because you'll have the data to know how you felt when you did these things. That's the whole importance of recording what you're doing during the month. I do this monthly, okay? Because once you be like, okay, what do I need to do? You need to change your morning routines. You might need to change your evening routines. And those things are made up by you. And it basically encompasses everything that you need. So everybody's morning routine and evening routine will look different. Okay. And so this helps you point to the root of what you need. Okay. If you, had a certain way that food made you feel like, or, maybe you worked out, whatever the case may be, like the data is going to be different for everybody. I don't know what you wrote down. Okay. But the whole point is that helps you to give yourself what you need. All right. It only takes 5 minutes a day to assess your needs. And then you just intentionally do the things that you're already doing every day. You're not adding anything special to your routine. You're not, doing something that you wouldn't normally do. It's all about how well you take care of yourself through hydration, nourishment, movement, rest and reflection, and rest. Okay. How well you do those things. That is what version of you shows up. I told you the analogy about the two basketball players that had the same level of talent. The person who's going to show up and do their best is the person who took care of themselves the best. Okay. And so that's the whole thing. Like I said, there's no program. The work is you showing up to assess your needs. All right. So if you still didn't get the workbook, you can definitely check my bio. You could print that out, print it out, or you can use it digitally. Okay. We track our budget. We track our menstrual cycles. Women, we track our menstrual cycles. You write down, okay, these are the days that I went to the gym. You can look back and reflect. And that is all the workbook is for. It's that data that you need to be like, all right, hold up. Before you can really get your life together, how are you taking care of those basics? Okay. It makes no sense for you to jump into a full-on 4-day-a-week hour workout if you aren't even good at taking care of the basics. All right. For my people who are stuck, can't really lose the weight that they wanted to lose. They were supposed to do this. They were supposed to start this business. They were supposed to read this book. That whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what you have to do. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter. None of that. What matters is how well are you taking care of yourself, because that's the version of you that's going to do whatever it is that you want to do. All right. So if you don't already have the free self-care tracker, you don't know what self-care to do, what I did, how could you include it in your, because it's like this, you're going to have to create a chain of self-care actions and link them together. And that builds up the version of you that is out here conquering the world, is out here traveling, is out here being the best sister, the best mom, the best girlfriend, the best wife, whatever. Those self-care things are happening on a high level for, a person who's successful. Okay. You cannot ignore your MVP. And that was the whole science and point of the 30-day self-care check-in. We won't have another live 30-day self-care check-in until 2027, but the podcast is still going. All right. Weekly, we do the weekly reset on Sundays, okay? And then that is on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And then midweek, we have the midweek check-in. We've been doing that for a year, a little bit over a year. You can check in for the midweek check-in on Facebook, or you can check in on YouTube, all right? Basically, the midweek check-in is like, listen, the week is already in full swing, but we still got a little bit of week left. It's a reminder to make sure your MVP is front and center and those needs are being taken care of, because you're not going to be able to do none of the stuff that you're planning on doing if you're not taking care of yourself. Okay, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. So like I said, applaud yourself for showing up every day and learning that the real consistency or the real goal is to make a habit of checking on you daily and let everything go from there. All right. I'm your girl, Demita. I'll see y'all in the next video, okay? Check in below and let me know that you made it through the 30 days, all right? And that you're following us on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, all right? I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.